right, so the classic legend 3D fighting game Virtual Fighter is coming back, and it got announced, but it was in an article. My name's King J. I speak about fighting games on this channel, and I do play other games on my stream, so go check them out and remember to subscribe because it does help the channel grow. Now, my thing is, I've been a big Virtua Fighter and Tekken fan for a very, very long time, and it's a bit sad to know that Virtua Fighter, the last version that they made, was in the 2000, and then they remade it with RGG Studio, which was the Final Showdown. That was like, it wasn't recent; it was like a couple years ago, right? They kind of just flicked the paint on and they kind of changed everything around in terms of the graphics side of things, but the audio still sounded the same. Now, my queries and problems and reasons why I've taken this long to react to it is because I didn't really know what to say. Because, yes, in an article, they did say they're bringing back Virtual Fighter, but at the same time, it wasn't announced like by Sega themselves in terms of like a promo video or anything like that. So it's good to say that, yeah, it's in the works for sure, but I have some worries. Sega's been out of touch in terms of fighting games for a very long time. We had, yeah, we haven't had a Virtua Fighter in a long time. How are they going to do this game? Are they going to do the traditional, bring all the characters back and then add maybe one or two extra characters? Because we all know that doesn't work in this type of generation anymore, right? We're in the generation of, decent amount of characters, comeback mechanics galore, make things easier. And Virtual Fighter has never been a game where, they made things easy for anyone. I feel like Final Showdown and Ultimate Showdown, they dumbed it down a little bit for the casuals, but it still was difficult. If you get a grab on an opponent, depending on which direction you, like, it was very difficult to break. It's not like Tekken where it's like it's either square or triangle or square and triangle together. This was like you had to guess which direction it was in, and that is pretty difficult, especially for a casual. So I'm just gonna play some match and I'm gonna just talk about Virtua Fighter as a whole. This is the Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown in Evo Japan 2023, so you can watch it while I'm talking. But one thing I will say about this game is they did have the crossover with Tekken, which is pretty nice. We could probably have maybe a Tekken character crossover. We can also maybe have a Yakuza character crossover because, in the Yakuza games, when you move in the game, you can go into the arcade and you can play the previous titles. This has been a known thing, even with Judgment as well. Judgment or, the Japanese title Judge Eyes, they would have like versions of Virtual Fighter in the arcade. And I was always get excited and play it because I'm like, oh yeah, this is nostalgia, right? Virtual Fighter, for me personally, is it's got a massive place in my heart, but the game is too difficult. And I'm not saying that they have to dumb down the mechanics. I'm not saying that by any means necessary. What I'm saying is that they're going to have to figure out a way to capture this audience because the sounds sound dated in Final Showdown. Like, even though just the hit effects, it's pretty dated, right? So we're going to have to figure out, what are you going to do? Are they going to do like, a season pass, a roadmap? I know they want this to cater towards the esports as well. How is that going to work? They've never done Virtua Fighter in an esports capacity before. And Virtua Fighter is not the most, like, I would just say it like this. It's not the most popular when it comes to the fighting games. Street Fighter is more popular. Mortal Kombat's more popular. Tekken is more popular. I would even go to say that Dead or Alive could potentially be more popular than Virtua Fighter, right? Virtua Fighter is a really hard game. King of Fighters, would you say King of Fighters is more popular than Virtua Fighter? I don't know. But this game here, I really like it because of the difficulty barrier. But I'm an old school player, right? I've been playing fighting games for over a decade. So maybe I'm just being biased. I want to know from both sides of it. If you're an old school person watching this, or if you're a new school fighting game or Tekken player watching this, what would you like to see in Virtua Fighter come back? Because even look at this game, it just lacks the umph in terms of people that just don't know about the game. right? Like if I was to watch this now and it's like, oh yeah, what's this game? It's interesting. But then I have Tekken where I go boosh and I'm running and then I've got this mix up and then I've got these, sparkle effects and then I've got Rage where the screen tints a bit darker and all of these type of things. This is, yeah, there's effects, but it doesn't look like it's ready for PS5, right? And I can't, like, again, this is not meant to be a PS5 game, but I just want to know how far are they willing to go. And let's talk about characters, the characters. We have Akira, that, yeah, he wears these traditional suit that he's got going on, the karate suit, but again, like, it looks too similar to Ryu. Obviously his hair's up and he's got the white bandana. But it's still looks like Ryu, right? Like in terms of just the outfit. And it's like, come on, man. Like there must be something else. You can probably give each character different outfits. The characters just look too generic, right? They just look way too generic. For me, I feel like they just need a whole new revamp. They need a whole new revamp. The game itself, if they really want this to do well, they did a whole new revamp. And it sounds like I'm being negative. Nah, I really am happy that Virtual Fighter is coming back, but I just don't want it to be, the usual practice. Like, with most fighting game developers, or Japanese fighting game developers, I feel like they don't understand the culture of how things are meant to be worked. Like they could produce amazing games, but in terms of marketing, the marketing is sometimes the side that lets it down. And then even with balancing, we've seen what's been happening with Tekken recently, or should I say for the whole year, right? We've seen other games follow suit where there's characters that are just busted and it's been like happening for a while. Look at Street Fighter 6. JP was busted for a while and then, a year later they changed him. So there are some worries, especially that Sega has been out of the loop for a while. And I just want to know what is happening. That's why I was taking so long to react to this. I was just like, I can react to it. Yeah, it's news. Yeah, I'm excited. But what are they working on? What is their angle this time? Like, Virtua Fighter 5 has had different types of updates, but we ain't had an actual true Virtua Fighter game for over a decade, right? My prediction date, I did tell you Virtua Fighter was coming back, and again, this is the channel where I do predict things, and when I say things do happen, right? I predict this game is not coming out until 2026. And the reason why I say that is because, yes, we have text announcement. We don't even have a trailer, a teaser, anything. So I'm looking at maybe mid 2026, right? 2026 is a good time, I would say, that we could get the game. I also feel like, personally, that we need to start looking at how can we support this game? How many people do you think would go to a Virtua Fighter esports in Virtua Fighter 5's prime? What kind of characters are they looking at? How are we going to make this game appealable to the masses? Like, there's so many questions in my head when I was thinking about this, doing this video. And it's just like, the thoughts are they're just coming out of my mind. And it's just like, stages, music. Are they going to stick to, there being ring outs or walls? Like, is that going to be the theme? Are they going to have all the stages? Like, are they going to have, stage explosions like how they did in Tekken? Like, are they going to take a leaf out of Dead or Alive's book? Because remember, there was quite a few Dead or Alive Virtua Fighter characters in Dead or Alive. So are they going to, follow suit with them? Like, how is it going to work? Is RGG Studios going to be taken over fully? Like, how is it going to work?